Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a little bit earlier than normal for a Sunday these days, Talking Town. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov. Looking forward to chatting a little bit of town. There's a little bit of stuff that's come out this week. Obviously, international weekend, so it's not a pulsating, it's not excitement, it's not 90 minutes to dive into, but we'll do our utmost this afternoon. It's a quiet week, Matt, when the voice message service has got 0 new messages.
Nothing in the speak pipe. Nothing from Australia, our friends down there.
Absolutely nothing, because there hasn't been a great deal to get excited about. One thing I'm excited about, obviously, is our merch store launched last week. So go and check it out if you haven't yet. I think you can get something really excellent on there. 10% off if you're not a member, 15% if you are. Matt's sporting something that the viewers last week really enjoyed. Said he looked absolutely smashing in it. And the mug.
And the mugs, not just that. This is a recurring gag. Not just us two mugs in the store.
Not just us two mugs.
One as well.
There's one there as well. You've got the QR code on the screen. If that doesn't work for whatever reason, link is in the description. We're going to talk training ground. Ashton in the interview. Speaking of mugs, walking around with a mug of coffee in the interview. Keep it there. Didn't look very full. I think he probably regretted that about 5 sips in.
Yeah, probably. I wonder if they replenished, like they stopped filming and he could go and get a top up. Otherwise, it didn't look like it.
It didn't look like it. It didn't look like it. It looked like he had five or six sips, and then there was nothing left in there. And you always hate walking around with an empty coffee cup. I do anyway. Fill it up quick.
Exactly. I mean, there was a lot of waste paper bin things dotted around, weren't there? The training ground, but you're not going to put your ceramic mug in there, are you?
No, absolutely not. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Other news that we don't always get time to cover on the show necessarily. We'll feature some boxing towards the end. I see another big fight last night, Eubank Ben. If you've not seen it, I won't spoil it until the end. So we'll try and be as spoiler-free as we can. I know some people like to watch their boxing on catch-up. And we'll get your comments on the screen.
They do that on the news, don't they? If you don't know the results, turn away now.
Look away now. Isn't it? Who was he? Who did? There was a comedian, wasn't there? Like, he did the gag, and then when he came back, he then spoke about was it a Ronnie Barker and sketch? Was it one of theirs?
Yeah. No, sure. I'll have to look at it. I'd love to see Ronnie's. I'll have to look into it.
Well, it might not be. I just remember watching it once upon a time. And don't forget, we are of course sponsored, partnered with Match Bingo, and you can get a 100% deposit bonus by using the word town all in caps. The deposit minimum is £10, and while it's bonus cash and can't be withdrawn, the winnings absolutely can be. So get a 100% deposit bonus by using the word town all in caps and combine the excitement of live sport with the thrill of bingo. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly, over 18s only, and visit begambleaware.org for more information. To play, scan the QR code on the screen next to their logo or link in the description. Colin says Luke Littler is unbelievable. Are you keeping a little eye? Is there darts going on? I imagine there is that comment.
I think it's the Grand Slam of darts. Colin would tell us if not. I normally sort of start paying attention when the Worlds come on, which is next month, and then the Premier League they've in the spring, don't they? But yeah, Colin's a big fan of Luke Littler. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. At what? Is he still 17? Is he 18? Might still be 17.
He'll be 17 forever. Yeah, he must be 18, 19 now. Surely. I mean, it's been years since he came on the scene. Or it feels like it's been years.
It's just, I mean, how do you even get to that level of talent at that age? I mean, it's like God-given gift, I think. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Trevor says, are we sponsored by Kenko? No, we're Kenko are interested, absolutely. But until such times, Nescafe is the best coffee, Trevor, in my humble opinion. Don't forget, you can get us on audio, and we are live again midweek, Wednesday, 8 p.m. with a match preview as we build back up to town, back on the grass.
Big game, Matt. Wrexham.
Big game. Yeah, the Nathan Broadhead revenge game.
Yeah. Nathan returns,
could be. STST training ground looks like it's going to be top notch. Ashton has been told to stop saying oxygen, and STST doesn't like the presenter. Thought it was woeful. Doesn't seem interested in the slightest. All right, let's kick it off then with that video. What are your thoughts on STST's comment there and the rest of it?
Well, he's right. He didn't mention oxygen. That was a huge surprise. Too preoccupied with the coffee, most probably. I think that Jacob Henderson, I think that's the kid who's there. I think he's very good. Very tall. I think he's excellent, that lad. I really enjoyed it, actually. You never quite know what you're going to get with these things, do you? These kind of little tours around. I mean, am I being cynical to say that we have 2 massive away wins and then suddenly the video comes out of
Maybe
projects and Mark Ashton returns? But I mean, look, we know that he loves this kind of thing, as he alludes to himself. He left Bristol City right on the periphery of opening their own training grounds. This is obviously it's a passion project for him, isn't it? Infrastructure, I think. Very good. It'd be very good in council circles. But I mean, look, just walking. I mean, there's 2 schools of thought here, isn't there? There's one, you look at it and you think to yourself, this looks phenomenally good, and it's going to look really good. And they kind of segued some of it, didn't they, with the artist impressions, and this is what the main hub of it will look out over the pitches, and you got the cryotherapy, the pools, all that kind of stuff. Reminds me very much of my FA days when we built St George's Park.
Okay.
You've kind of got this all-encompassing campus. Is what I'm trying to say there. I don't know if or not there's going to be a hotel on there at some point. Who knows? Certainly, it lends itself, doesn't it, to being able to stay overnight there as a destination for teams that hire it out, and however that would work in the future. What I did like, of course, was that if Mark Ashton is to believe, they seem to be just converting a couple of potato patches into this all-encompassing training area, which makes me chuckle when you consider the last 20 years, everyone's gone, I've chosen to come to Ipswich because of the top-notch facilities.
Yes. Every transfer signing, what drew you to town was a great club with fantastic facilities.
Yeah. I wasn't getting that vibe off Mark Ashton, to be honest with you. But I mean, what he is building there is obviously going to be chalk and cheese compared to what we had in the Evans era and before that. I mean, look, you can't argue with it, can we? We often say, don't we, Mark Ashton, as cheesy as he can be. And he's been on his show and he was fantastic on here. It was great. And we'd love to have him back on, wouldn't we? As funny as he can be, and we can make fun of the oxygen things and the David Brent-isms and all that kind of stuff, he still remains one of our great signings of the modern era in terms of spearheading game changer, recruiting Kieran. Off the back of that, you get the double promotions, and now you can see what they're doing to the training ground. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Really phenomenal.
It looks absolutely amazing. And obviously the price tag lends itself to how good it's going to be. You're spending the money in the area to improve it and the infrastructure, and it's absolutely world class. And if your club stature has grown since he arrived in terms of where you see yourself now within the pyramid of English football, a top end championship side, a Premier League side in waiting, when you get to the Premier League, trying to stay there, then obviously the training ground now is also reflecting the change in stature, and it becoming more of a Premier League ready infrastructure with the Category 1 and the dedication it's putting into there, the first team facilities, how the pitches are the same, so you're training on something you're going to be playing on, which I is really good. And the difference is, you say Ashton's the best transfer signing, and you can't argue too much because of where we are, how far we've come. But it's also a massive credit to Game Changer and Co, because they didn't come in and say, right, we've bought the football club, we're going to run the football club. For many years, one of the biggest criticisms was we didn't have people in the right place at the right time leading the football club. If Brett Johnson had signed the paperwork and said, right, I'm going to run it, day-to-day operations, okay, a bit like Marcus Evans. But they didn't. They put a man in there who has done this, has got credible projects in the past that you can look back on and say, okay, he's done really well here, done this, done that. I know Bristol City fans are perhaps not massively in love with Mark Ashton, but you can see what he did at Bristol City and the changes, and they put him in place, and that's also to their credit, because they've got the right man in the right job, and he's doing the things, and they give him the ability to go and do those things as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you think back to the Evans era, where you had people like that Ian Milne, who became sort of a very nice chap. I actually met him a couple of times. Very nice bloke, but became sort of a figure of fun, almost like, what's this guy doing in this role? Wasn't maybe his skill set. Before that was that Simon Clegg who'd come out of the Olympic Association.
Olympics, yeah.
Again, didn't really.
Leo O'Neill was the last.
Yeah, good old Leo O'Neill. I mean, he did the best he could. I mean, I think he was having to spin plates across lots of different roles, didn't he, under the Evans era? And you see Ashton quite often refer to things as being elite level. That's exactly what Mark Ashton is when it comes to these infrastructure projects. He knows what is elite level, and he's building it. Someone else who also knows what elite level is, and his name was mentioned, I said this to you, didn't I? Which went under the radar a little bit, is that Travis Viola. And the Viola family own the Stanley Cup NHL ice hockey champion, Florida Panthers. And his father is worth $6 billion. I mean, he's on the Game Changer. He's one of the Game Changer directors. So it just shows you how closely linked we are to, a sporting franchise that has been dominating in the States. Now you've got that expertise around the table. I mean, again, that's a whole different ball game compared to what we had under the Evans era. Who knows how Game Changers' interests in Ipswich progress moving forward? Maybe the Viola family will have more of an interest in it coming forward. We know that Sam Simon guy came in on the private equity stuff. So it sounds like to me he was linked into the Viola family. Might have that wrong, but they sort of came at the same time, didn't they? When they made the Game Changer directorships. So that's exciting in itself. That was mentioned just in passing, wasn't it? I was thinking, hold on a minute, that's a huge sporting family in the States.
Yeah, absolutely. And the important thing is obviously it's great to have this infrastructure. It's great to have that spend on the infrastructure and bringing the football club into being a world-class facility and taking its place as it grows its club stature. But equally, you've got to be competitive on the grass, and they've never once backed away from that in terms of spend and transfer ability, and that's the important thing to marry those two up, which so far they've done just brilliantly to do. There's never been a case of we're spending on the transfer, on the training ground, and you're thinking, well, we need this, that, and the other in the market. It's always gone hand in hand, and that's what football. I think that's what bringing football people to football jobs does. They understand that it's one thing to have a world-class facility, but you also need the team on the pitch to reflect where you're going and where you're heading, and that's never been a question. For the last 4 years, hasn't been a question whatsoever. We've been aggressive in every single transfer market. Yeah,
we have. And also, he said, didn't he? What was the strategy in League One was to bring Premier League level staff in at League One to go on the journey that eventually takes you to the Premier League, which is great. And all aspects of Ipswich Town Football Club, be it sort of the academy, women's, the first team, are all going to benefit, and staff that work there day to day are going to benefit from being in those facilities. You're a player. It's going up 100-fold. The women's team, even though they're having to play their games over at Colchester at the moment, are benefiting from the infrastructure there. I mean, even just something as simple as there was the goalkeeping zone, wasn't there? Those pitches of just like penalty areas. I mean, they said that was Rennie Gilmartin's manor, didn't they? So just little things like that. And then, as you said earlier, even just reconstructing the Ipswich pitch, stitched to the exact spec you've got at Portman Road,
which can't be cheap, can it? Let's be honest. The pitch cost
This may explain why we didn't replace the lap. It's all gone there. But
no, you're right. And I absolutely would love to have obviously Mark Ashton back on the platform, and I like Mark, and he's always come across as a really nice guy, actually, that just does his job and does and would he be someone I necessarily want to work for? No, because I think he probably demands the absolute best of you 24/7, and rightfully so in the position he's in. I didn't
two positions, remember?
Two positions, yeah. And I do, but one thing I did find funny, I'm not going to complain about it, was the culture of no excuses. Now, that in itself is not funny. It was the very next thing he said after the culture of no excuses, where he said the training ground wasn't particularly great, and follows that up with that, almost trying to suggest that why we got relegated was the training ground wasn't necessarily up to scratch. And I thought, culture of no excuses. 30 seconds later.
I mean, that's just unfortunate, isn't it? But you're right to point it out. I think what it also does is shows you, over the last 20 years, we were losing kids, I think, in Suffolk, north of the border, going into wearing yellow and green. Now you can see the difference in the two clubs. I mean, we've looked on in envy over the time in Talking Town, haven't we? Do you remember when Leicester City opened their new training ground? We were like, blimey, wouldn't great if Ipswich had something like this.
Sheffield United as well.
Yeah, and Bournemouth is another one. I mean, obviously they're looking to redo their ground, that was also mentioned, wasn't it? The Cobbold thing. Maybe we'll come to that in a minute with this new revenue appointment. But I mean, you can't help but just watch it and think this club is really heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, off the pitch is where their area of influence ceases for Ashton and everybody, because obviously we got relegated. But, we've gone into this international break thinking, Coventry at the moment look a very decent side that look like they could win the title. At the moment with our game in hand, should we win it, we look very good, like we could certainly sit in second for a considerable spell.
Yeah. Paul P, the contrast between 4 years of this ownership and group and 14 years wasted under Evans is mind-blowing. Earlier, we had a comment from Mike Baker. Afternoon, all the club is growing on and off the pitch. We all want immediate success result, but to be honest, overall, I'm happy where the club is at, progressing on and off the pitch, growing as one. We've got Upper Town from Andy. Upper Town, Andy. Paul said, I think his point was there won't be any excuses once the upgrades have been made. Martin. There we go. Well, look, it wasn't a complaint. It's not a criticism. It's just you can't help but absolutely glow at the interview, glow at the piece, and it's just brilliant.
What you want now is that conveyor. I think the next thing, isn't it, with the Category 1 status, they want the conveyor belt of kids coming through because they've been few and far between, haven't they? I mean, Humphreys is in there at the moment. Wolfton came through, but he's no longer in the system. They signed that Boniface out of Chelsea, didn't they? I mean, he's now, I think, a academy player, but it's going to be very interesting to see how that now develops over the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, you're getting kids in there like 8 or 9. He said it's very difficult for them to get through to the first team, given, that's a generational thing. But be interesting to see what the next maybe 3 years brings in terms of a kid who's now 14 or 15, could be on the periphery of the squad when he's 18.
Yeah, and absolutely. And of course, it was unfortunate timing of the no excuses, and then it just made me and only me laugh. I was like, all right. Talking about other news, and you mentioned it there that we don't actually. Before we go into that, obviously they did mention future projects, and I don't for 1 minute get the feeling that Mark has the sort of person to do one project, a bit like me at home, do one project and then take 6 months off and say, mate, yeah, I'll get around to that. I'll get around to that. Obviously you've got the stadium improvements and everything else that entails. Do you imagine the West Stand will be the first thing they do in terms of increasing that before they even contemplate?
Sit somewhere. You got to go and sit somewhere.
Well, exactly, yeah.
I've yet to email them in my idea. I've floated here before, wasn't it? To put you all down at Colchester and watch the game on a beanbag.
If they're going to do that, I'd rather they just give us a private link and we could just watch it from home. Give us some sort of media link or whatever they can give for the Town TV studio, and we can just watch it from home. You
could watch it from home. That suggests to me that's going to be a very difficult thing to manage out of. I mean, I still don't see how you raise the capacity. Well, see how you do the Cobbold Stand. There's a clear plan for that, isn't there? Going to build over the road.
They? Because I think.
But where do you sit? Because are you going to put another tier onto the Pioneer? That seems tricky to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, they may end up building over the road if the road remains there. The road may come up, and you may find that the road comes up. Some of the car park is taken over and built upon. And I mean, something that has always stuck with me, and obviously, I'm not involved in the planning meetings. I'm not involved in any meetings in whatsoever. But something that's always stuck with me, and I wonder if it's the direction the club may go in, is Ashton saying the stadium is back to front. We have our back to the town, and he's never liked that. And I just wonder if, because of the council plans with that space and their own plans, the road now no longer in use because it's cut off from certainly the junction of car park, Sir Ralph Ramsey and Portman Road. If that road is purchased, if some of the car park is purchased, if they look to turn the stadium round and have the entrance now coming into that side of the ground, if that's something they're ever going to look at, toy with, discussed in their planning meetings, or eventually perhaps do. Because I know that's one of the things he first said is the stadium is back to front with our back to the town, and it shouldn't be that way.
Maybe this is the driver for the pardon the pun, the driver for the £15 car parking fee, and that they reduce the traffic down using it, so they can actually start building on it. So that spec that you're talking about there, he has always said that. You're quite right about that. I mean, would they build over the road? So you still like if you go somewhere like Lords or the Oval in the cricket, you walk underneath the stands, if you see what I mean. It's still open, and you've got vendors in there and all that kind of stuff. So it's sort of enclosed, but still with a considerable walkway around it. You get that at cricket a lot. Certainly Oval, I'm thinking you can walk the perimeter of the Oval like that. So it'd be very interesting to see. I guess this guy who's come in, the new revenue officer, I mean, you're talking retail, but also ticketing. Well, ticketing does itself at the moment because we're pretty much selling out, aren't we? So I suppose the next step of that is how do you then sell the upgraded capacity at Portman Road to get a maximum attendance. But you've got to be in the Premier League for that. That's part and parcel of it, I think.
Yeah, or consistently knocking at the door of the Premier League. You know, we've seen the stadium sell out. If you're a top Championship side, a Premier League side, of course, you will sell out. If you're, if you're not, then you will struggle, as we've seen over the years. And Paul says the road hasn't been used since COVID, so my guess is we build on it. Yeah, absolutely. That's my feeling to it as well. It's just interesting to see what the overall design will be. And Colin says, please pull the cobble stand. I can't look. I love this. I love cobble stands. The best stand in English football is the best view in English football. Now the view I imagine isn't going to change dramatically, and I imagine you'll go back into a very similar area that you left for those that are leaving to come back when the stadium is built. However, we consistently struggle for running water, cold or hot, on match days, and the game day experience isn't what it is for other stands around the stadium. So it absolutely is ready for a change. It absolutely is ready, just purely because of the running water situation. It's
nice to wash your hands, isn't it, after you've been to the loo or whatever?
It can be quite nice, yes. So in that regard, I'm absolutely ready for it to be changed, because we then get the best of everything for the first time in my lifetime. Because you're not going to build a brand new stadium and then put in, half-hearted concession stands, etc., etc. So you're going to get the absolute best of it. So even though I'm in the top tier of the Pioneers, I still call it. When me, Colin, and Crunch have gone and sat down for cup games, a little bit further below, down by the hospitality boxes, and you use the toilet facilities there. Ain't much better than what the Cobbold is, to be honest with you. Because again, that's 40 odd plus years, isn't it? Yeah, and that's exactly, and that is the next stand. I don't know what in terms of completely tearing it down, of course not. But that's the next stand, the oldest stand. Once the Cobbold stand has been.
You can't be tearing that down. Bobby Robson had to sell the UEFA Cup winning side to fund that thing. That stays up regardless.
But that's the
the sacrifice that was made.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you've got to have these lovely memories and stands, and but it will be the oldest.
But you want good facilities as well. I mean, it goes. But if you're pitching the club as a day out to families, which invariably you're seeing these days, then you've got to be able to provide the facilities that make it comfortable for people to spend an afternoon there, for example.
Yeah. So in that regard, I'm ready for the Cobbold stand to be gone. Obviously, I've got a lot of attachment to it. Sit in my dad's seat, etc. So it'll be a very sad day for me. Personal reasons.
You might be able to take your seat with you, like they did with the North Stand. Remember
that would be lovely.
You could take that. You could have put them in your garden.
Yeah, but unless they move
put them in the budgie shed. That's where you can.
I'll come and sit on it on here. I'll put it in here, and I can sit on it during the shows. But unless they move the pitch, the view will never be changed. So it will always be the best view in English football, hands down. Trevor says, I can remember it being before the Cobbold stand was built. Trevor said the bottom two sections of the West Stand are actually the oldest.
Yeah.
There you go. But in terms of stand length, that will then be officially not even a question, not even or is it or isn't it? It will be the oldest, because the North Stand and the South Stand, obviously we can all remember those being built in the 2000s and a part of relegation.
Yeah. I always sometimes, because they built those at the wrong time, didn't they? Because we'd finished fifth with the Premier League, they was all in on expanding the stadium, and then we get bloody relegated, don't we? But
this ties back to my earlier comment though about you marrying the two up. This is an ownership group that you don't get the feeling, because you're going to have to improve the stadium. Where are we going to be? Where is going to be affected? The two, I think, will always be married up. So if they're spending all this money on the training facilities and staying competitive in the market, I get the feeling it isn't going to be a case of, we have to sell half the squad, or we have to do this, or we have to do that, we can't be this. They'll marry the two together.
I sometimes miss the old North Stand. I mean, do you remember when Ferguson said it sounded like there was 35,000 in there? I don't know what the attendance was against United that night. The 1-1 when Fabian scored 20 odd years when we got back into the Premier League. But you probably had better atmosphere because the acoustics was better. I mean, the problem with putting more seats in, as people keep saying, and which is why you've now got split in the blue action on your side and the North Stand singing, and sometimes the two can get confusing, can't it? You get that, unfortunately, when you try and increase things or trying to make it better and take it away from what had actually been the staple for decades. Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Now, the other news that we don't get time to cover because of the excitement of games is obviously the Chief Revenue Officer appointed. His name is Andrew Wood. And on the club website, I got this from it. Said Andrew will oversee the club's revenue strategy in areas including commercial, ticketing, retail, marketing, and international development. Town Chairman Mark Ashton So this is in his chairmanship hat now.
Yeah.
Right, we're excited to appoint Andrew to such an important role at the club. It is vital we are able to maximise our revenue across all areas as the club continues to grow, and being able to bring in someone with Andrew's skill set and experience is an important step in us being able to do that. What are your thoughts on Chief Revenue Officer Andrew Wood being appointed?
Well, I think one of these projects then is going to be the Cobalt stand and the ticketing around that, but also they've got one eye on the Premier League again, haven't they? If you're talking about how you're going to sort of pitch the club internationally, we've been down this road before, of course, which is why Roy Keane got the role. It made perfect sense with Marcus Evans, didn't it? Get Roy Keane in, get into the Premier League, then you're hitting markets like China, Japan, Malaysia, that kind of Far East where the Premier League is huge, and Ipswich can be part of that. The only downside to that, of course, is we never got into the Premier League. So I think they've got one eye on they've got one eye on returning at the moment. And as I said earlier, we've been hit and miss this season, and commentary looked decent. There's no reason why Town can't sit in second within a few weeks is my wish. So one eye on the future is that appointment. I mean, in terms of retail and stuff, how many more kits are they going to have? Already got 3. Going to be a 4th?
But this is it, right? So obviously the commercial side of it is one thing and massively important, but the other side of it is also, let's not try and dress it up too much. It is what it is. How can I make you spend more money?
We always say, don't we? What did Ashton say? The leisure pound is tight.
Yeah.
Well, don't look that tight when I'm trying to get into the shop. Queuing to get in there, aren't they? To spend their money.
But it is though, right? It is. It's important. It's important for the football club. No one's disputing that. But it is. Yeah. How can I make you spend more money?
Exactly. Yeah. The retail operation. I mean, it's very interesting thing. I mean, is this the last year with Umbro, and then we go to another manufacturer? We'll probably find out about that soon. I would have thought whether or not this guy is going to be part of that. Maybe a new deal's already in place. Is it? A lot of Umbro kits have gone to that store, haven't they? Make the England cricket kit. So whether or not we go to that, I'm not sure. That'd be an interesting one. We've always said on Talking Town, haven't we? We want Town in Hummel. We've never had that before. Or Puma. Never had a Puma kit either. So that'd be good. Something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
When it comes to kits, I absolutely know nothing about what I talk about. It's just something we have to get if you want to every year. I'd go back to an old style every other year personally, and let the vans vote on 3 choices at the end.
It's weird how that's become a thing, isn't it? It's almost like the fans have demanded that they spend 60 quid each time on 3 new shirts when it was every other season, wasn't it? I mean,
that's what I love about the NFL. Another thing I love about the NFL, is that you don't change them very often. Like if you bought a Chicago Bears jersey a few years ago, it's going to be the jersey, other than the name on the back, it's going to be the jersey that they're going to wear this afternoon. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And I'm surprised in a way that they do that. And there's probably some big thing behind it, and I don't know what it is.
Well, if it's like baseball, they all get a shit. So if you buy a Chicago Bears shirt, everyone in the league gets a fraction of that, don't they?
But for a league so intent on revenue, you'd think changing it every year, even just slight changes every year, would be because that's why clubs do it, right? It's a good revenue source, because if you want the latest, you have to buy the latest. And if you've got a shirt you buy today that you know is going to be in 2 years' time changed, you've got 2 years out of that. That's one summer you've missed out on. And as Shabby says, the NFL will catch on with shirts soon. Yeah, for a league that's so dominated by commercialism.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
it still surprises me that we don't. But in soccer,
they brought in a third strip, didn't they? They've brought in a third strip before where they were wearing slightly off different colours. In baseball, they brought in I think it was the City brand. So Chicago Cubs play at Wrigley Field, so they brought in kind of like a sky bluish colour with Wrigleyville written across. I mean, they've got dip to toe in there. You have to ask yourself, is that really necessary? But maybe that's coming in the future.
But another positive move off the field, in terms of improving infrastructure and training, stadium. Also, these type of appointments are really key because they drive the commercial side of it. They drive everything, and the more money you can get in, the more you can be flexible with what you need to do.
Elites again goes back to what he said, didn't he? They brought in Premier League staff at League One, and now with one eye on the Premier League, bringing in someone like him. So I mean, good luck to him. Hope he does well.
Yes, another positive, good move off the field, of which there are a few. So that's kind of the Town stuff we've got. Don't forget the merch store is open 10% off for non-members, 15% off for members. Go and check it out. Scan the QR code, link in the description. If the QR code doesn't work for whatever reason, we're live on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Do join us then as well. And the FM game we've got, Football Manager, has been released. We're going to play that soon, the network save. I want Matt involved. He's very reluctant, but I want to see what Matt's got tactically. I want to see you struggle with a team like, I don't know.
I'd get Norwich, me.
You know, we've banned Norwich. No one can be Norwich. No one can be Ipswich.
Oh, no one can be Norwich.
We don't want to be. He wants to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be game, do you? No one wants that.
Wants
you did a good little video about FM 26. It's got a few hundred views.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I dipped my toe back in after many years away of not creating Football Manager content, and it was good. It was all right. I just want to show everyone what Town was like in the game, etc. And there's mixed reactions to the game. I'm not so against it as some. I'm not incredibly for it in some ways either. And Paul says it's not going to change while we keep buying the shirts, though. Very true. The only way you don't, incredibly true. Okay, but that also leads itself into FOMO a bit, doesn't it? You know, fear of missing out. If you haven't got the latest shirt, you do perhaps have that fear of, do I? Don't I? I mean, I always have that every year, and I end up always buying it. Always. I
didn't buy a shirt for God knows how long. Probably when it had Marcus Evans on the front. I thought I'm walking around.
Magical Vegas.
That was never going to happen. We weren't walking around with that. But certainly when we had like Power Gen, I was getting shirt. That was every other year, wasn't it? The Power Gen. It was home kit one year and it away the next or something. They used to rotate it and used to vote for it in the program. Do you remember? It's like a pull out in the program.
Yeah, that's what I say. Just bring that back. You have free kits and you should vote for it. Absolutely. I'm all for that. Reminded
me of that. That was good. Did you know we've got Ipswich players in action right now, Martin, for Ireland against
I wasn't aware. I will be honest.
We've got their draw. They've had half hour. It's 1-1. Dar O'Shea has started on the left-hand side of the fence, according to this app. Jack Taylor's on the bench. Ogbini is playing. He's got 7 out of 10 so far. He's playing, albeit a Sheffield United player at the moment. And a ghost of Town past, Troy Parrott, has scored for Ireland.
He scored on Friday, wasn't it, for Ireland as well?
He's playing in the Netherlands, isn't he? I think he's with AZ or someone like that.
Yeah.
His name's been mentioned as a future number 9 for us on the Discord. Where he's back in the international level. Fair play to him. I see Nunes didn't get on, and again, it was Chile versus Russia, which I'd imagine was quite chilly over there. He was on the bench. So how good are those midfielders in the Chile side? They're keeping Nunes out of the.
Be very good. I did see that Dara O'Shea had sort of, back pocketed Cristiano Ronaldo, and then Ronaldo got himself.
He elbowed him, didn't he? And got a red card or something.
Yeah.
Good old Dara. Maybe got a bit of a shiner there. George Hurst come on the sub, I think, again for Scotland. Lost 3-2 in Greece last night.
Yes, but they're still alive, aren't they, in terms of qualification?
Got to beat Denmark. They've got to beat Denmark on Tuesday to get to the World Cup, automatically. Otherwise, they fall into the playoffs. I do like it when because sometimes people cheer against the home nations, don't they? I like it when all the home nations are in the World Cup. I mean, it's great. I mean, World Cup 82, everyone's in there pretty much, other than Wales.
It's interesting. We'll see what goes on. All right, boxing last night. Eubank, Ben. This is your spoiler morning, by the way. Turn it down.
Yeah, here it comes.
I don't want to know who won, but Ben took it, and obviously question marks now about Eubank's future. Yeah, I didn't see the fight. I'll be honest. You did, I know. So what did you think of the fight, and what about Eubank's future?
Well, I've always been going way back to when I was first watching boxing when I was 14, 15, 16 to the 80s. Team Eubank. But part of me in the run up for this one, because I felt like maybe this could be the final chapter of the story. And given that the Ben family have given so much to British boxing, I wanted them to get, I was saying to the guys in our boxing gym yesterday, I'd love to see them win just so they get a piece of the story, a piece of the narrative moving forward. It wasn't always Eubank, because Eubank won the first fight and they have the rematch at Old Trafford, ended in quite a debatable draw that maybe Nigel was unlucky not to get the decision in my book. And then, of course, Chris Eubank Jr. had beaten Conor last time. But Conor was all over him last night. Easy win. I mean, you would struggle to give Eubank a round. I would say he looked gun shy, lacking strength, lethargic, no energy. Because he talks a good fight, Chris Eubank Jr., like his dad, obviously. And he'd done in all the things with DAZN, who screened it, all the round table stuff, the press conferences. You thought he was going in there and was probably, he was the favourite, I think. But Conor Ben outboxed him, basically. It was a very odd performance.
So where do they go from here? But both fighters. Where do they go
Well, I
from
mean,
here?
you could argue they won a piece. They could go to a trilogy. I mean, Conor said in the
No,
ring, "Oh, well,
they've
this is
said
the
that.
end of it now. This is the
They've
end of
not
it now."
said.
Eubank is 36, going on 37. He's about to be a father to twins, so that obviously changed the dynamic slightly. But they were very sporting, the Eubank family. I mean, Chris Senior was in there, and he went over and congratulated them, and Junior spoke very highly of them. I actually think probably, even though it's a grudge, I think there's mutual respect there, really.
Did you see Nigel Benn's comments in the press conference afterwards in regards
No,
to
I didn't.
Chris?
What did he say?
It wasn't very glowing towards Chris Eubank Senior.
Oh, was it not? That's always. I mean,
no.
that's one of the great rivalries of British boxing. You go all the way back, even into like the 19th century, whatever. If you had to put the top 10 rivalries, that would be certainly in there. I mean, again, maybe it's for show, bit of theatre, I suppose. Don't know. I mean, yeah, the trilogy is there because they're at 1-1, but whether or not Conor Benn's not even a middleweight, he'll go back down to welter really and try and secure a title there. I think it's probably the ambition for him. But fair play to him. The dad's sold out stadiums. They've sold out stadiums this year.
Yeah.
2 fights alone this year. So
yeah.
So fair play to him. All good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the press conference afterwards, he's talking about, before in the weigh-in there was an incident, wasn't there, where sort of Chris Eubank Senior put his arm up and danced. And then after the fight, he tried to shake his hand. Go check it out. It's obviously, as always, these things are quite entertaining, and I was just interested.
Trevor makes a very good point there. What about Parker failing a drugs test? Yeah, he's supposedly had elements of cocaine in one of his tests post Fabio Wardley. Yeah, I mean that's been widely reported. So I find that hard to believe, really, given Parker is such a consummate professional, and we'll just have to wait and see. But that doesn't make any difference to Fabio. The win will still be on his record. And it was interesting actually last night. Turki Al Sheikh, who now runs boxing, as we've said on this show and talking knockouts before, alluded to 2 fights coming up for next year. One's obviously going to be AJ versus Fury, is one they want to make. And they were talking about one maybe in Manchester. I couldn't really work out where that might be, but I'm wondering whether or not that could be Usyk Wardley, because Wardley is now obviously interim WBO champion, which means he's mandatory for the WBO title. So that could be the other one, maybe. What's your space on that one? Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Could be a big year ahead for Fabio, anyway. That's for certain.
Yeah, and of course you had some earlier than I think they would have liked to have perhaps got the rumours out there, listening to Eddie Hearn on TalkSport the other day. But you had the rumour of AJ versus Jake Paul. Thank you very much.
Oh my God! You've had AJ's done one crossover fight, hasn't he, already, against Francis Ngannou, who was UFC heavyweight champion. Made mincemeat out of him, stopped him inside 2 rounds. I wouldn't want to see Jake Paul take that fight. I mean, we're talking levels here. It's one thing fighting a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. It's another one fighting Anthony Joshua, who, he's not going to go back to being undisputed world champion, but could certainly pick up a belt of some description if they were to get splintered once Usyk retires.
Yeah.
Very dangerous fight, that. I mean, I'd be worried for Jake Paul there.
It's the first Jake Paul fight I'd be really interested to see.
Because you want to see him get sparked up.
I just want to see how it goes down. It'll
be on net. Well, the rumor is it would be on Netflix. That'd probably be the world's biggest sporting event extravaganza ever, I would have thought, because that's constantly growing. I think Jake Paul, Mike Tyson holds that record. You'd imagine it's going to break that. I mean, look, everyone's going to make a shed load of money, but health-wise for Jake Paul, I'd be very, very worried.
Yeah, we'll see if it gets done. All right, let's before we end the show, don't forget we are partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths, quality care in Stowmarket since 1985. Give Freddie a call there. He is the governor. Tell him the Gov at Talking Town has sent you. 01449 613 633 01449 613 633. All right, I pulled out 2 things from on this day in the vault. I just want your thoughts on it. 2002. Okay. Going to go all the way back to 2002. Town sign Paul Gerrard on loan.
I do remember that. Was that the same year that we were going through keepers? Is that when we got in Mike Pollett? Is that the same year as that?
I would have to check, but it could well be. Did he get sent off on his debut, or did he give away Paul Gerrard? Because didn't he hand it outside the area? Didn't he hand it? I also did in memory of Paul Gerrard being judged to have handed it outside the area from my seat in the cupboard, and I don't think it was ever outside the area. But I always remember that being a moment with Paul Gerrard. He didn't play many times for Town, did he?
No. Neither did Mike Pollett. I think it was just that Norwich game.
He played the Norwich game. That was it. Yeah, and that was it. So that was interesting.
Yes, that's a blast from the past. Yeah,
that is. And then back to 2001. All right, all the way back to 2001. George Burley confirms loan bid made for Hakan Suker.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Where does he end up going in the end? Aston Villa. Does he go there?
At the time, he's at Inter Milan. At the time. But
I'm thinking of something. No, I'm thinking who's the Moroccan lad? Oh, you won't remember this. Yes, I do remember Hakan Suker. So he was the Turkish centre forward. I'm thinking of someone else who played for Morocco.
Kashlul.
Yeah, that was it. He was supposed to be coming to us, and he ended
from
up
Southampton on a free transfer, and he ended up going to Aston Villa. Yeah.
Good memory, Ryan. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Hassan Kashlul, that was it. Yes, Suker was like top-notch number 9 for Turkey, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We also, around that period of time, got linked with Pep Guardiola, who ended up going. I think maybe we ended up going into Saudi Arabia. I think he'd left Barcelona to go to Brescia in Italy, and we got linked with him. And I'm thinking, that would be pretty cool. That's a bit of a mad story now, isn't it? He's getting linked to all these kind of things back in that Premier League spell. Yeah.
But as Shabby says, I remember Gabriel Batistuta was rumoured. That's obviously something we always joke about now, isn't it? You know, when we talk about signings, or who's coming, or maybe we'll finally sign Batistuta. But I never remember Hakan Suker being linked ever. That's something that's completely, and that's an actual confirmation link. You know, George Burley confirms loan bid made for Hakan Suker. I just blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, I don't remember that. What a signing that would have been.
Would have been, yeah. I mean, that would have been. That was probably when we've obviously cemented our place in either in the Premier League or that second season. And that's when you started getting the likes of Finidi and Serini coming in and all that to try and bolster that squad, I suppose. Everyone moans about that then as well. You're breaking up the side that got us promoted, and obviously it ends in relegation, doesn't it? So history repeats, doesn't it?
What a great player! What a great player! What a moment that could have been. You know, imagine that Hakan Suker up front.
Well, we did. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, we obviously didn't end up getting Batistuta. We got Adrian Paz, didn't we? And Tarico coming in that deal. I mean, he's a town folklore legend, isn't he? So and absolutely great player, Mauricio Tarico, absolutely great player. But yeah, you know, and there's obviously Hassan Kashlul, not on this day, but that would have been a good signing as well. Would have been exciting. He looked like he was going to come, didn't he? He was very good for Southampton, I recall. Yeah, he ends up going to Villa. And I think probably we all booed him when we played them.
Probably so. All right, we are done. Talking Town for the Sunday, the 16th of November is done and dusted. We are hopefully now coming past the international break, live again on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for our match previews. We fully focus in on Wrexham and the Nathan Broadhead revenge game. Let's see what that's got in store. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. If you're listening, leave a 5-star review. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. Do those 3 things. That's completely free. And of course, check out our merch store. STST says Ivan Campo. Now, he actually did come.
Big fan of him. Me and my dad used to really like him. Yeah. I mean, he'd played for Real Madrid in the Champions League, hadn't he? So he's wearing the blue and white towel.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they had some great players at that Bolton side. You know, Campo obviously was one of them. JJ Okocha. Absolutely phenomenal player. Klaus Jensen was another good player that played for Bolton, who went to Charlton. Good Johnson. Yeah, absolutely. They had some really, really good players.
Well, we went toe-to-toe with them, didn't we, in those playoff games, the Barry Knight derby.
Yeah, and I mentioned Charlton. Let's take us full circle. I'm surprised Matt Holland didn't make an appearance on the training ground announcement video.
We were desperate for him to
just like walking by or bringing the I don't know, bringing the coffee, mate. I don't know. I was surprised that
There's Mr. Trick there. He could have replenished the coffee, couldn't he?
He could have done, couldn't he?
With the chat.
Yeah. He could have turned up right at him with the paddle equipment and said, "Come on in, Mark, let's go." Right?
Yeah. They've missed the trick there. Next time.
Get me involved on Town TV content. I will absolutely blow your minds. Anyway, we're done. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Matt, for joining me. Take care. God bless. You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.